Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rebecca Payne, Chief Development Officer at the Girl Scouts of Citrus. Going to share with you the 2014-2015 Gifts for Girls Family Campaign Overview. Thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait to share the great incentives and the overview of this year's program with you. Some of you may know what the Gifts for Girls program stands for. It stands for Giving Investments for Tomorrow. And some of you may wonder what the Gifts for Girls donations support. Of course, they support our girls and the initiatives that are going on. Such things as programs and services, activities for our girls, scouterships and camperships, as well as support with uniform and curriculum purchases. Some of you may also wonder who can donate to the Gifts for Girls campaign. This campaign is specifically designated for adults, which means that friends, family, parents, guardians, neighbors, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and other Girl Scout supporters can give to this campaign. What this campaign is not is a girl campaign, so dollars for this campaign should not be raised through solicitation by the girls or girl-led activities. With that in mind, I'd like to highlight now what the goals for this year's campaign are. This year's financial goal is $50,000. The official kickoff for the campaign started on August 18th and officially runs through April 16th this year. Throughout this campaign, it's our collaborative hope that we will work as a team where together everyone achieves more. The strategy to get us to this goal this year is twofold. If you made your goal last year of $1,815, we would like to see you increase that goal by a minimum of a 10% increase over what you raised in last year's campaign. Or if you didn't participate in last year's campaign, or you would like to use the second strategy that we're suggesting, it would be a $5 minimum per family times how many families that you have in your service unit currently. Keeping in mind that it is a $5 per family, not per girl. So if I have 3 girls in Girl Scouting in 3 different troops, that would be a minimum of a $5 donation per family. Also, in addition, you might be wondering how we've performed in the past with this campaign. During the 2012-2013 campaign year, we actually had a $58,649 goal and achieved $13,891.33. You might be thinking, wow, that was a way underachieving year with Gifts for Girls. However, that is not necessarily true. With doing a historical review, our average was about $13,000 annual here at the campaign. Last year, Marianne, our CEO, strategized with us and set a $65,000 goal for our service units with a $1,800.15 goal per year, per service unit to get us to the $65,000 goal. Though we did not achieve our $65,000 goal, we did extremely well compared to our actuals the year before. We ended at $39,254.24, which is pretty much double what we raised in the year before. So Marianne and I sat down again this year and set the goal for $50,000, which once again can be reached with these two strategies, the $5 per family times the number of families, or a 10% increase if you surpassed the goal last year. With that being said, we've provided you several tools, actually quite a few tools, to be successful in this year's campaign. Once again, we are returning with the youcaring.com pages, and we will go over that momentarily in detail, which allows you to have a unique URL for each of your service units that you can market in a number of different ways to move your thermometer towards the goal that was set with your service unit team at the beginning of this year's campaign. If you are not aware of what the Gifts for Girls Giving campaign goal is for the year, please see your service unit manager so they can go over that with you. Once again, that is set on the goal sheets with your service units at the beginning of each membership year. Once again, back to the tools for use is the youcaring.com site, a volunteer manual, the pink Giving Gifts for Girls envelopes. Of course, we have the Donate Now button on the council website. Online registrations this year afforded you an opportunity to give when you registered your girl for Girl Scouting, and that was what we call a hard stop this year in the registration process, where as you were registering your girl, you would enter your girl information, sign up for a $15 membership to get your girl enrolled, and then you would be asked, would you like to donate to the Girl Scouts? That online registration donation also is a way for you to move your thermometer during the Gifts for Girls campaign goals and timeline. Also, we have a few forms of troop registrations that still actually come in on paper registrations, but these are few and far between. And as some of you are aware, if you're seasoned Girl Scout volunteers, there was a place also on that paper form to actually give a donation there as well. So those are the tools and the ways that we can, that are in place and the ways that we can accept donations for this year's campaign. Youcaring.com overview is what I would like to go into next. Youcaring.com is an online platform where we can set up a giving page for each of the service units. The YouCaring pages were set up utilizing the Gifts for Girls Chairs email and or the service unit manager's email. With that being said, each service unit has a goal, and once again, the goals were preset by you in order to reach the $50,000 goal for this year, and your thermometers were set at that goal. If we did not receive a goal for you, there was a default goal of $500 set, which can be really easily readjusted to reflect an increased goal and or a lowered goal based on what your service unit capabilities are. So with that in mind, this is what the screenshot for the youcaring.com page looks like. At the top, you will notice that there is a name for your YouCaring page, which would be significant of your service unit name and Gifts for Girls campaign page. So if your service unit name is Sunrise, it would be Sunrise Gifts for Girls campaign page. Once again, as I mentioned it earlier in this recording, or this presentation, you can send out and craft your own messaging here, as well as each service unit has a unique URL. So if you would like to send out a Facebook post to all of your parents, encouraging them to post to their Facebook page with your unique URL to ensure that they are getting the information regarding the campaign, or even going one step further and encouraging them to send that unique URL out to their friends and family to support the campaign. That is a great way to have parents and have friends and family support this year's campaign. In addition, you will see here highlighted by the arrow that as you collect supporters and donations, your thermometer will move towards your goal. And once again, this also reflects how many days are left in the campaign, which are reflective through April 16th this year, from this point in time through April 16th. This area on the You Caring Gifts for Girls page outlines exactly what the Gifts for Girls campaign is and lets them know exactly what their membership gives a girl that cannot afford Girl Scouting an opportunity to participate in. So once again, just a high-level overview of what the Gifts for Girls campaign is. This area is also personalizable and can be personalized. That's a better way to say it. Can be personalized for your service unit if there is something in particular that you would like to highlight that your service unit is doing. Under the supporters page is where all of your donors are listed. Your donors can be anything from a Scouting for Shoes donation that was made through your participation in a Scouting for Shoes submission. This can be an online donation that we received here at Council that we've back-ended onto the You Caring site for you. This can be an online donation that was received through a registration form. This can be a number of different means that are going to move your thermometer. If you have questions about what donations have come in, we do keep a Gifts for Girls spreadsheet on each service unit for all of the donations that we've received. As Gifts for Girls chair, you can requisition that at any time to make sure that your records are in alignment with Council's records. Or if you think you have something that we don't have that might need to be represented on your thermometer, please feel free to reach out to us and we will provide you with that information at the end of this presentation. So some of you might be asking, what if families in my service unit make donations with cash or check? Can we add those gifts to our You Caring page to help reach our goal? The answer is yes. However, you need to be very clear and transparent with Council if you have already registered those donations on your page so we don't duplicate revenue and move your thermometer twice. So if you would like to do that as the Gifts for Girls or point person for the service unit, you can do that by simply logging on with your Gifts for Girls email and username and password, which is Citrus341. Again, that password is the same for everyone, and it's Citrus341. And you would go to the Supporters tab, which I've indicated on this slide screen, and you would go under Supporters, and you would enter that donation there. So if you had $25 in cash, you would put $25 on the first line, display the name. If the person would like their name displayed, you can put the name there and an email address for that person and the donation message. In other words, if I gave $25 to a service unit, I may want, and I'm a troop leader, I may want to say $25 on behalf of Troop 123 would be my donation message. And notice you have two check boxes also at the bottom before you enter and post that donation. I would like to hide the amount given. Some donors prefer not to know, so it would show up as anonymous $25 or just an anonymous donation. And I would like the name to be anonymous. Some donors also prefer to be anonymous as well. So if you have questions regarding posting a donation, or if you would prefer just to turn the donations into Council and allow Council staff to post those on your behalf, that is, both ways are acceptable. The additional volunteer support materials that we've put into place as the same as last year is a volunteer manual. This volunteer manual is available online and also available in a package that we will be mailing to you. It is 29 pages in length, and contained in that Gifts for Girls Family Campaign Volunteer Manual are troop meeting presentation scripts, personal contact procedures such as a telephone script, a personal visit script, and of course a thank you. We have email messages outlined in there. We have letters from troop leaders if you want to push this down to the troop leader level and ask them to help you facilitate and participate in the Gifts for Girls goal for this year, and also a fundraisers checklist. And what I mean by that is we encourage you to set a strategy for your Gifts for Girls campaign with your service unit team at the beginning of the year, the campaign year. So for instance, if you want to hold a Daddy and Me dance with all proceeds going to the Gifts for Girls campaign, you can do that. If you want to hold a Girl Scout bingo, or a Daisy bingo rather, and have proceeds that you collect come back to the campaign, you can do that as well. Once again, that manual and all of those materials are available online and or through the package that will be mailed to your Gifts for Girls campaign manager if she was not at service team conference, or to your service unit manager. So this is a little this or that that we like to put up. I only did one this year on this presentation, but I like to break it down and make it simple for people. Would you like to eat a Chick-fil-A meal out for $8 to $10, or would you like to support the future girl leaders of tomorrow and make a $5 donation to the Gifts for Girls campaign? Of course, as we all know, a $5 minimum is the minimum that we are asking of families, keeping in mind that it does cost $15 annually to register a girl for Girl Scouting. So though we want to use the strategy that we have employed here at a $5 minimum per family, but we ask that we encourage our donors to give at the level that they're comfortable with and feel comfortable in sharing that it does include in a $15 minimum would sponsor a girl for a year to Girl Scouting. So just some food for thought there as you're making presentations out in the community. You might ask, what is Citrus Council doing here at Council headquarters and Council Center? We have a youcaring.com fundraising page where we ask and engage our alumni in the community, as well as our staff, to contribute to and send out our unique URL to the community, asking them to sponsor a one-year membership for a girl who cannot otherwise afford to participate in Girl Scouting. We are available to provide, once again, service unit presentations at monthly service unit meetings to talk more in depth about the Gifts for Girls campaign and get them excited. And also we are participating in the Scouting for Shoes incentive, which will be recorded in a separate training video. In addition, you might be wondering how to collect donations on behalf of the council. Donations for the Gifts for Girls campaign should be made out to the Girl Scouts of Citrus. And just a couple friendly reminders: if you're receiving cash and or check donations, please do not hold on to them for a long period of time. There are girls that have worked very hard to earn the Scouting for Shoes patches and the other patches associated with the program that are not, as well as troop incentives, that we want to make sure that we are timely in processing. So if you have donations for the Gifts for Girls campaign, please be sure to turn them in a timely fashion. Also, we would prefer that you do not mail cash into the council. We ask that you please deposit cash into your troop account and mail a check to us. And please be sure to include a list of donations that make up the total of the Gifts for Girls troop check amount. As mentioned earlier, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding the Gifts for Girls campaign. My contact information is on the screen. Please also be aware that there are 2 other recordings, one that outlines the incentive program for this year and how to send in your donations with the appropriate tracking paperwork, as well as a separate video outlining this year's Scouting for Shoes campaign and how to participate in that. Once again, I'd like to thank you for attending this webinar on the 2014-2015 Gifts for Girls overview. Thank you for attending.